Verbs with nominative, Verben mit Nominativ. So this is part 2 of my video series about Verben mit Ergänzungen, verbs with complements. And today I will show you which verbs use nominative complements. That means which verb is always using nominative. And there are also a few verbs that require you to use a double nominative. And there's also two versions of creating a sentence without any nominative at all. Hi, my name is Jan and I'm your German teacher here on EasyDeutsch, your YouTube channel for German grammar. Today's topic is Verben mit Nominativ, so verbs with nominative. And with the help of my ebook, I will show you now everything you have to know. So let's switch into my ebook. So we're now in my ebook, German Grammar Explained Easily. Today's topic is verbs with nominative, Verben mit Nominativ. So this is part of the verbs with complements, so Verben mit Ergänzungen. And let's jump right there, here in my table of content, nominative, there we go. Let's zoom in. So complements are elements in the sentence that are required to be there. If you don't know yet what's a complement, please check out the video that I link right now in the info cards for you. Part 1 of the series, there I explain to you in detail the differences between a complement and an adjunct. So the required stuff, Ergänzung, and the optional stuff, Angaben, adjunct. Today, we are talking about nominative complements. One of them you already know for sure, just in a different name, it's the subject. The subject is always nominative case, you should know that by now. And the subject is always there, right? You cannot really create a sentence with a subject, and that means the subject is a nominative complement because it's obligatory to put it there. For example, der Mann geht mit ihr spazieren, so the man goes for a walk with her. Der Mann is the subject, so the person we are talking about here. The word that tells you how to conjugate the verb. So what kind of ending you have to put here, that's the subject. And wir sind mit dem Zug nach Berlin gefahren. We took the train to Berlin. Here, wir is the subject because that's again the people or the thing we are talking about. Das Haus steht direkt am Strand, so the house is right at the beach. And here we are talking about the house, and that's the subject. And it's a nominative complement because it is obligatory to put it there. You cannot drop that under no circumstances. And there are even some verbs that require a double nominative, so that require you to add 2 nominative words. And those are the verbs sein, werden, bleiben, and heißen. All 4 of them require a second nominative complement in addition to the subject. Let's have a look at them. It's easier than you might think. Der Mann ist ein Idiot. So the man is an idiot. And mein Sohn wird ein Pilot. So my son is gonna become a pilot. Er bleibt ein Lehrer. So he stays a teacher. Maybe, if you want to, stop this video for a second and try to figure out why both of them have to be nominative case, and just pause it and find the common factor here. What's identical in every single sentence here. If you have paused it, you should probably figure out right now what's the similarity. Here we have der Mann and Idiot. It's the same person. Mann and Idiot. It's one person. That's not 2 different people. It's one person. Same here. Mein Sohn and Pilot. It's the same person. It's not 2 different people. And as well, er and Lehrer, so he and teacher, it's the same person. So there's no difference here. That's why both of them have to be nominative, because we are still describing the subject here. And if the subject is the same person as the object we're talking about, it's both the same case. One person, one thing can't get 2 different cases. And there's one condition here. It's not really a condition, but just something you have to keep in mind. There can't be a preposition here. So it's only double nominative case if there's no preposition here. You will encounter those verbs, especially to be with prepositions, but then it's not nominative anymore. Because remember,
From my preposition lessons, the preposition always overrules any other rule about the cases. So whatever the preposition wants, that's the case you want to apply. If the verb wants dative, nominative, whatever, it doesn't matter if there is a preposition. Preposition tells you which case you will have to use. If you're still struggling with the cases, I will link my videos about the cases here in the info cards. There is a playlist just about the cases, so check that one out in the upper right corner. So let's have a look now at one exception of this. If you actually understood that one person here, this is not really an exception, just something you have to pay attention to if you just think, okay, it's to be, so sein, so it has to be double nominative. Well, you also use especially sein with measurements like the weight, the length, the time. And obviously, der Schrank ist 1 Meter hoch, so the cupboard is 1 meter high. It's not one thing or one person. Meter is something different than the cupboard. So that's not the same thing. We're describing, in this case, the height of something. And then it's accusative case, because all measurements without preposition are always accusative. Don't ask me why, it's like that. All measurements are accusative as long as you don't have a preposition there. But as an example, der Schrank ist ein alter Schrank, so the cupboard is an old cupboard. There it's double nominative because it's still the same cupboard. It's not a different thing, but here we have just the height, and that's a measurement, and the measurement is accusative as long as you don't have a preposition there. Same here with bleiben. Er bleibt einen Monat im Krankenhaus. So here it's also a time, and it's accusative as long as there's no preposition. So all measurements, all time indications are accusative. There's no preposition. Der Tisch ist 1,80 Meter lang. Here it's also accusative because it's a measurement. The table, and we have the size of the table. Here we have the length of the stay in the hospital, and this is the height of the cupboard. So that's why no nominative here. There you have to pay attention. If you got this rule, same person, same thing, then yes, but always keep in mind, in all cases, not just with the nominative here, measurements are accusative if there's no preposition. Now, last but not least, let's have a look at sentences without nominative. Yes, it's possible to actually create sentences without nominative. Not really on an A1 level, but if you want to give a command, so imperative, there's no nominative in there. Komm sofort nach Hause. So come home immediately. Why is there no nominative in there? Well, simple. We're talking to the person that is supposed to do something. So we're talking to the subject of the action that is supposed to happen. So that's why there is no nominative complement here. But on an easier level, on the A levels, that's the only exception, but quite similar to English, or exactly the same like English. You don't put the subject in there in English either. There is a second version, a second thing without nominative that actually does not exist really in English. It's impersonal passive. This is like B1 or rather B2 level. So if you're still A1, A2, don't bother too much about that. Auf den Mann wurde geschossen. There's no subject in here. It was shot on the man, word by word. And this has no subject in German. In English, you have to put the it, which is the subject. In German, it works without. So if you want to know more about that, check out my video about impersonal passive that I will link for you in the info cards. Also, if you want to know more about imperative like this, I will link my video about imperative right now also in the info cards for you.
Now you should know everything you have to know about Verben mit Nominativ. If you have any further question, please do not hesitate to ask your question here in the comment section below. And if you want to support me, my YouTube channel, my website, it's always a great support if you actually share my videos, like my videos, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done it yet. Thank you very much for your support. But if you want to support me even further, or you like the ebook that you've just seen here in this video, you can actually buy those ebooks from my website. The link to those ebooks you will find in the comment section, also in the video description. If you haven't done it yet, that's always a great support. If you bought my ebooks already, thank you very much. I'm very grateful for your support. And that's it for today. And then I hope I see you again in one of my other videos. And until then, viel Spaß und Erfolg beim Deutschlernen.